I'd like to talk about the piano-to-piano connection. So you'll see this in a lot of our advertisement and you'll hear people talk about it. And it's probably the most distinguishing feature of one-on-one piano. What's so different about it is that instead of going through the mics and speakers on your device and the student's device, so your computer and the student's tablet, for instance, we connect the pianos in the call. And the pianos, they're digital and they send data through the internet, through our app, and out to the other side, and they talk to the student's piano. So in our example here, this black colored piano is going to be our teacher, and this is going to be our student. And these both have keys that kind of light up so you can see what's happening with piano to piano. The reason it's so amazing is that there is no loss of sound. So there's no compression or distortion when the piano captures the sound. It just captures it and sends it. And so it sounds really good, and it's very low delay too. So when I play here, this is going through our app, through the internet, coming back with so little latency that we could do duets. And I have customers that do duets. So I'll just show you what's happening, and then I'll show you how to set it up in our app. I can turn down this volume completely. Now I can hear the other piano play. So that's piano to piano happening. To configure this in one-on-one piano, we go to the settings menu. We can do this in the media settings for our call, and we can do it during the call. I have a call open just so that you guys can see all the views. So we go past our audio settings and our speaker settings. We'll notice that voice isolation is on, and that happens automatically in one-on-one piano when we connect to the digital piano. You can see it turns off automatically when you disconnect from the digital piano, and it turns on automatically. When I check that box, did you hear that sound? That sound is telling us that the computer is now talking to the piano. If the computer is talking to the piano, this means my piano can talk to the other piano. There's my variation. All right, so that's all that's involved. When you plug in your piano, it'll show up as digital piano, Yamaha piano, Casio, Roland. It'll work on any brand like that. And you click on it and you're ready to go. Voice isolation will automatically activate. Some computers, old computers, struggle with voice isolation, and so we'll use auto mute. That's what this one is. Why do we need auto mute or voice isolation? Because you don't want the slower, less high quality audio capturing it at the same time and coming in with an echo. It'll come out as an echo and it won't sound as good. So what the voice isolation does is it lets the piano go through, lets me talk, but it cuts out the piano sound. Okay. You'll see this setting down here called piano volume. Sometimes what happens is we'll have one piano that has big speakers and one piano that has little speakers. So let's say mine's turned all the way up and this student over here is playing really loud. It's blowing my eardrums off. All I have to do is just come over here, turn down the piano volume, and they can't hurt me. All right, so you can reset it right here. Okay. Another thing that can happen is you have internet with a lot of what we call jitter, which is small breaks in the connection. So if you have those small breaks in the connection, it means it'll be like, it'll come out like that because the internet's cutting out for just brief moments. Now, the great thing with piano to piano is it's very efficient. That's why we can do duets and things like that. But also when the internet isn't working right, that means it'll cut out for just a moment. And so you have trouble. So just like with our movie streaming services that have a little gray line, that's called a buffer, and we have the same thing here. That's called MIDI buffer size. So if you're having trouble with your connection and it's kind of breaking up, you can add a little buffer to it, maybe 500 milliseconds, that's half a second. Half a second delay, you'll notice a little bit, but you won't notice much. It'll only matter if you're trying to play together with duets or something. And if I'm doing a concert, I might add a second of delay just to make sure nothing gets lost. However, on a good healthy fiber connection like I have right now, I have no issues. So that's kind of the basic MIDI settings available in a call. There is not a lot to it. once you connect to an instrument, so in this case, I'm connected to the digital piano, that's this Yamaha right here, it will reconnect when you come back to the app. It recognizes it. It'll just do it. The last thing to know is that there's an advanced settings menu. So this can be used to help a little bit with connecting to older pianos where strange things can happen. Remember, MIDI, which is what Piano to Piano uses, comes from about 1985, and it is backwards compatible. So you can connect a piano from 1990 to our app and it will work correctly. Sometimes there's issues, so you can kind of figure out what's going on by going to advanced settings. You can go to local piano and you can see what message it's sending. So the basic MIDI message is note on or note off, and then what note it is. So middle C is note 60, and then it gives a little bit of velocity value. So right here I see that I accidentally switched to an instrument. There it is. Right here I can see that I played middle C with a velocity of 68. So velocity is what gives us sound in piano. The higher the velocity, the louder the sound. If I lowered an elephant onto the keyboard, it wouldn't matter how heavy he was, how much weight, it wouldn't make a sound. Okay? But if I have a really fast cat jump on the piano, we get a velocity of 124, that's what it was, and that's how we get a loud sound. And so a pianissimo sound is going to be velocity of 22. So that's the basic messages of MIDI. That's why it's so quick and so efficient.